Have you ever wanted to approach a woman standing right in front of you? Your heart said, "Go, talk," but your feet wouldn't lift off the ground. Or you played out that scenario in your head, planned what you'd say, thought you found the perfect sentence, were just about to make your move, and that moment passed. That woman left, and you were left thinking, if only. Bro, that feeling is terrible. And let me tell you this, you are not a coward. You are not weak either. You're just misunderstanding rejection. And today, we're going to talk about exactly this. Why does the fear of rejection exist? Why does it feel so powerful? And most importantly, what is the natural way of meeting someone that ends this fear? If you're ready, let's begin. First, let's understand why the fear of rejection is so powerful, because you can't solve it without understanding it. Evolutionarily, the human brain processes social exclusion in nearly the same way as physical danger. Thousands of years ago, being cast out from the group meant death, and the brain still carries that old program. That's why the heaviness you feel before approaching a woman, that freezing sensation, that "what if she rejects me" thought. These are not your weaknesses. These are a modern reflection of your brain trying to protect you. But let me also say this, that danger is no longer real. A stranger rejecting you is not threatening your life. It just feels that way. And when you grasp this gap between feeling and reality, you start gaining power over fear. This is not a theory. Neuroscience states this very clearly. Understanding the source of fear reduces the activation of the amygdala, the brain's threat center. The person who understands moves more calmly. So what is the second major reason that feeds the fear of rejection? Expectation. And here we come to a very critical point. Most men think this before approaching a woman. What if she doesn't like me? What if she turns her back? What if she laughs in my face? What if she humiliates me in front of her friends? In other words, before even approaching, they've already set a goal. This woman must be interested in me, must like me, must respond positively. And this expectation is what ruins everything. Because expectation creates pressure. Pressure kills naturalness. Without naturalness, your energy feels fake, and the woman senses that fakeness within seconds. I asked my own girlfriend, when a man approaches you, do you feel that he expects something from you? Her answer was very clear. Yes, I feel it. There's a need in his eyes, like he wants to be approved. And that's very tiring. There it is. Energy that seeks approval kills attraction. And the solution is to let go of expectation. But how? This is where the natural meeting approach comes in. And let me be clear with you, this is not a technique. It's not a memorized sentence. This is a change in the intention behind your approach. Let me explain. Two different men approach the same woman. The first man thinks, I have to impress this woman. I have to make her like me. I have to say the right thing. The second man thinks, this person looks interesting. It would be nice to talk to her for 2 minutes. Which one will feel more natural? Which one will be more authentic? Which one's energy will be calmer and more attractive? The second one. Because the second man is not chasing an outcome, he's present for a moment. And being present for that moment changes everything. Body language changes, tone of voice changes, word choice changes. And the woman feels all of this. So how do you apply this mindset shift in practice? Let me give you a very concrete framework. I call this the curiosity angle. When approaching a woman, ask yourself this question. Would it be interesting to get to know this person? Not, will she like me? Not, how can I impress her? Just, is this person interesting? When you ask yourself this small question, your mind completely changes. You're no longer trying to perform. You're genuinely curious. And genuine curiosity is one of the most attractive energies in the world. Because a curious person asks questions. A person who asks questions listens. A person who listens makes a connection. And connection is the very essence of attraction. I experienced this in my own life. At one point, I would approach women after preparing a lot in my head. Let me say this, then ask that. If she answers like this, I'll say that. And every time the conversation felt robotic. Then one day, I approached simply because I was genuinely curious. I said, you were reading that book. I was curious what you were reading. And the conversation flowed by itself. That difference changed everything. Now let me tell you the practical elements of the natural meeting approach. First, before approaching, take a breath and relax your body. This seems very simple, but it's very powerful. A tense body radiates tense energy, and that energy automatically alerts the nervous system of the person across from you. Cortisol rises, defense mechanisms kick in. But a relaxed body radiates comfortable energy. The nervous system of the person across from you also relaxes. Oxytocin is released. Connection begins to form. You can trigger this just by breathing. Second, your first sentence doesn't have to be perfect. Engrave this in your mind. There's no such thing as the perfect opening line. The only thing that exists is a real and natural moment. Are you new here? What's the name of that drink? It looked interesting. Is this place always like this? These seem like ordinary sentences, but when said with a natural and sincere energy, they become the most impressive openings in the world. Because the woman doesn't feel the content, she feels the tone and the energy. Third, let go of the outcome, live the process. This is perhaps the most critical element. When approaching, plant this in your mind. No matter what happens at the end of this conversation, I came here as a good person, and I will leave as a good person. This mindset makes you independent of outcomes. And a person who is independent of outcomes moves naturally because they have nothing to lose. And a person who has nothing to lose has the freest and most attractive energy. Fourth, when making eye contact, be warm and calm. Knowing what to do at that first eye contact is very important. Neither look away nor force a hard stare. Just be present for a moment. Look into those eyes and carry the energy of, "I'm here with you." Smile, a natural, effortless smile. This establishes a connection even before approaching. And sometimes, this connection makes approaching much easier. Fifth element. When starting the conversation, use an emotional hook, not a logical one. How did you get here is logical. How does this environment make you feel is emotional. What do you do for work is logical. What do you love most about this city is emotional. Emotional questions make the person across from you think, feel, and open up. And a person who opens up makes a connection. A person who makes a connection remembers you. A person who remembers you wants to see you again. This chain begins with an emotional question. And the sixth element, the thing most needed by those watching this video, redefine rejection. Being rejected does not show that you are worthless. It only shows that in that moment, a connection couldn't be made with that person. And this is something every person has experienced and will experience. Even the most charismatic, most beautiful, most successful people get rejected. The difference is, they don't see rejection as a part of their identity. They see it only as an outcome, and they move on. On a practical note, let me also say this. Your outfit sitting perfectly on your shoulders automatically strengthens your posture in that first approach moment. A subtle signature cologne leaves an impression even when you're approaching. Clean nails are noticed in a handshake or during conversation. These are small details, but they make up 50% of the first impression. And a good first impression makes the rest of the conversation much easier. Because the human brain forms a judgment in the first few seconds and tries to confirm this judgment throughout the rest of the conversation. If you establish the first impression correctly, the rest flows. And let me also be clear about this. This video taught you how to approach, but the real matter is this. What happens after you approach? The fear of rejection is gone. You approached, the conversation started. But what if the conversation stalls? What if you don't know what to say? That's exactly why I'm leaving you with this question. Because meeting someone is an art, but continuing is a separate art. Finally, I want to say this to you, bro. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action even when fear is present. And every time you take action, that step becomes a little easier the next time. Spending a lifetime waiting out of fear of rejection leaves a much heavier feeling than never having tried at all. You are someone worth taking that step, and the person across from you deserves the chance to know you. Don't forget, regret lives inside you for much longer than rejection.